Blimey, what an introduction. Hello. I'm not Ginger. I don't have a demo. I really wish I brought a demo now. It's really upsetting me. Just want to say thank you for James for doing what he's done today. A little bit about me. I am an avid blogger. I love the social stuff. I continue to do it, so there'll be a plug for me later on about doing that as well. Quick round the room, hands up. Who is what I would term an IT recruiter? What do the rest of you do? Just quickly, are you direct employers? Are you direct employers? Okay, mixture. Cool, fab. I guess the market. So we've understood some of the where and the why and the hows in some respects around the need for IT security, the product offerings, etc., etc. So today is really my take on the market, the people within that market, how organisations like Symantec and others, including people like our competitor Sophos, look at attracting people, developing people, and I need to switch my microphone on, sorry. Is that better? Yay. That suddenly looks blank, there you go.
Yeah. Can you start again?
So yeah, I'll start again anyway. So we look at the market, the people, and the challenges that we all face together in that space. The market, I guess, is the challenge for most of us. We're as a consumer, as a public body, as commercial organisations, security is becoming more and more aware. We've had the conversation this morning. I think we're all well aware of that. What is changing, and I guess for organisations like Symantec and others, is the speed of that change. It's the speed of going to the market. As a recruitment and talent acquisition professional, keeping up with that speed of change is incredibly demanding. The market wants more, the business wants more. And I think when we come on to talk about the people, we can look at what that really means. Where's 3? In broad terms, I guess certainly it's a Symantec phrase, it's probably a phrase that we use in the market as well. There are market megatrends. They're things that you've already heard about today, but they're the real focus of the business, and they challenge and adapt and make us look at how we recruit across the board, whether that's from salespeople, whether it's from technical support, whether it's the pre-sales people, the people in the middle, whether it's research and development, all those real sort of in-depth techies that we have sat around the world. For us, megatrends are all around virtualization, mobility, cloud. Those are the big challenges we all face as an industry, and they're the areas that our clients want us to look at as well. So from a talent acquisition perspective, those are the buzzwords we're starting to use. We're starting to talk about cloud, virtualization, mobility. For us, cloud is a very, very, obviously the big thing. It's buzzword. You see it on the television. You see Microsoft advertising how you can rearrange people's faces on using the power of Hotmail. From a commercial sense, organisations are buying it now. They are buying it from a small one-man band organisation through to the large corporate. It's an easier sell. It's a pay-per-user engagement. Suddenly we're going away from you need all this infrastructure, you need to do all these things, you need to think about how you're going to support it yourself, and we're right into the depth of just buy this. From our perspective as talent acquisition, it means we have to make sure we've got the people that can support that. It means we're operating 24/7, 365 days a year, truly global. If I look at our own data centres supporting the cloud, we've got 15 data centres globally. Customers are buying into that large-scale infrastructure. Mobility for us is all around your devices that you've got sat in your hands. It's how we use and integrate our everyday lives from a consumer perspective, from my life, your life, as well as a work perspective. I guess the challenge we all face, and certainly from us, is around whether we're driving the market as an employer or whether the candidates are driving what we need to do with them, how we need to engage them. And I guess in most respects it's a mixture of the two. As an employer, we're far more proactive than we ever used to be, and I think that's probably the trend that you're now seeing as an external agency / consultant, that the market has changed. The recession has been good and bad for the recruitment industry. In one respect, it's changed the model slightly. I know somebody the other day looked at me and talked to me about whether recruitment consultants like you guys, for example, are your days numbered? And it's something I've been saying for a long, long time, that you probably are. It's starting to look that way. Doom and gloom, I know, sorry guys. Not today, and if you knew anything about my background, you'd also know it changes from week to week depending on which side of the fence I'm sat on. But I believe that we are shaping the market. We're leading the market now because we're saying what we want. We're demanding skills, we're demanding attitude, demanding all sorts of other things. So we'll talk about people, come into that a bit more detail. And I feel that so organisations like yours are going to have to be far more adaptive to that change. If we're leading the market for candidates, that certainly means that you're lagging behind even further. We struggle to find good people, and yet we've got branding, we've got scale, we've got a large team, I've got all sorts of other great things in place, and we really struggle. By the time we get to engaging with you guys, you could be at the bottom of the pile in some respects. There'll always be a place for external consultancies, but if you look at some of the big corporates and certainly the big employers, it's less and less and less. It's getting much more niche and much more specialist. I'll come on to that in a second. Outside of that, clearly, when we look at who's shaping the marketplace, everybody wants to work for Google. I went to a university event the other day, and all they wanted to talk about was Google and how great they are. They had no idea what they were going to go and do for them. They just wanted to work for them because they're cool. And they see Google every day, and they see Microsoft every day. Whereas, in fact, Symantec's probably not that great. They don't see that often. They might have bought Norton. They might have Norton on their PC. They might have seen it in PC world. So what do these people look like? I guess from our point of view, I think James covered it as well. The specific skills we're always going to be looking for. What those specific skills are today are probably very different next week and probably different the week after, and that's the real challenge. So then comes taking it back a level. We need people who can learn the skills, who can adapt and move quickly and understand what they're actually going to go and do with a customer. There are still lots of proper techies sat in bunkers doing proper coding, but more and more it's about a customer-facing engagement. It's about people who will work with a sales force, certainly from my perspective, work with a sales force, engage with the customer, develop proper relationships with that customer and deliver value. It's not just about flog the product, here it goes. It's actually understanding that the real requirement from the customer. So it all comes around that attitude thing. Attitude is a real difficult thing to measure. How do you find attitude? How do you find that capability? We can go down the route of psychometric testing and analysing people, looking to see what they do. But you know what? Some of it's just based on gut feel still. In terms of where we find these people, though, we're finding them. We're probably not coming to you guys for them. We use a real mixture of looking at our quality, our cost, and our speed of hire. Cost is paramount. So as soon as we engage with you, we're hitting big cost. I know that I can recruit 4 placements internally for the price of using 1 placement with you, roughly. If we use it on a global scale, a typical hire costs me $3,000. A typical hire externally costs me $12,000. It's a big difference. It means we've changed in the shape of how we do things. In terms of our sources, we are engaged with the market, we engage with universities and start at entry level. I feel that as a brand leader, we can go and talk to universities far more competently and I've got the coverage that you perhaps wouldn't have. There are some specialist graduate recruiters that we use from time to time. But the reality is we want to go and develop our own network and develop our own engagement with candidates because we want control. We're control freaks. If you look at what we do, it's all about control. As soon as you guys get a candidate, they're worth a fee to you. And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not criticising that at all. But it means that you're looking at them in a slightly different way to we will. We're not interested in how much money it's going to, they're going to make us, and that's a real subtle difference, I guess. In terms of quality is paramount. We're the employer, and I think there's something about that as well. The way that we assess people, you might see somebody you think is great, we'll just reject them straight away because we've got a feel for our culture that you only really get from the inside out. You can only work how culture feels and what an organisation looks like from the inside. That's a big challenge for you. When we come on to talking about the challenges, it's not all doom and gloom everywhere. You're looking like depressed now. It's like it's all over. It's not. It's fine. Let's do the sources around that as well. We also obviously go out and look at our competitors. James isn't particularly freaked out. I don't know James, but I know of him. He's on a list. We know where he works. We know where he lives. That's the secretary. That little beacon thing. But we would do that as a matter of course. We map out the competition. So good technical people, good sales people, good pre-sales people, good whatever. We know where they live. We can't always get to them, and that's the challenge, I guess, that we face. And that's, again, an area of expertise that we need from you sometimes. That says, actually, we know where this guy is already, but, we troll in and saying, hi, it's Symantec, and we do all these great things. They're not so interested. Sending somebody like you to actually have that engagement, then they're interested because you also they perceive that you want to talk to them about Symantec and perhaps something else, although the primary activity might be around us. So subtle difference. So we're on to the challenges. I think it's probably the main piece. I'm what I guess I would call the new breed of talent acquisition. I've come from a background of earning fees, earning big fees, earning little fees, engaging with clients, giving them people. It started off in the bad old days of just giving them bodies in high volume IT contract recruitment. It's not particularly highbrow. You tend to ask a skill set and you tend to engage very, very quickly. It's a great business to be in. It gives you lots of skills to do something else with later on. But the reality is that model has changed. Once upon a time, employers like us would go, great, let's just give it to an agency, give it to an agency. And that was the model and everybody was happy. The reality is now I've got a team of 18 in the EMEA, all of which have come from a recruitment background. They're not HR people anymore. That's a subtle difference. Once upon a time, everybody in Intel recruitment was from HR. We sit within the HR team, we've got some HR responsibility, but the reality is we're external recruiters through and through. We're no longer driven by the fee, we're driven by the quality of the hire, often driven by the speed of that hire, and those are the two things that are critical. That's an opportunity for you. The speed of hire is critical. We struggle. We have to say yes to everything we get. That's the subtle difference as well. If I give you a role today, you've got 15 on already, you'll just say, no, I can't do it. If I've got 150 roles on today, I still have to take the next 150 no matter what. So resourcing up and down for that is a real challenge. The actual delivery model is a challenge. And that's where good, strong recruiters who build a relationship with us will work, because we'll just, first and foremost, we need you for bandwidth. But it is a relationship-based activity. So I guess how we all win is about that relationship. Who does cold calls here? I want to do that a bit. Who makes cold calls? Do any of your cold calls ever involve the phrase, I've got the best candidate, the biggest database, are unique? Because if they do, then they're probably going to fall on deaf ears more and more. Because we're the new breed, because we've been on that side of the fence as well, we're sort of savvy to some of those things. Breaking in and having a conversation, a real conversation, is bloody hard on your part, to be fair, because the little boundary is always up. Because we're ex-agency, ex-recruitment, ex-whatever, we know the game, and we put up this artificial wall to say, well, you're not coming in. The reality is we need you some of the time, but I think we also feel that we're arrogant enough to want to pick and choose who those people are going to be. Anything that involves a real pitch of, I've got the biggest database, you probably haven't. I've heard it many, many times. I won't pick on the name actually because he's not saying it's fine. Large database. The pitch goes along the lines of, we've got 60,000 people on our database, but if you want to get the best people from us, take us on a retained basis and we'll find them. We can do that anyway. That core bit of the middle, we've got access, we've got brand, we've got infrastructure. Outside of the team I've got in EMEA, I've got a sourcing hub in India. I have to feed them a list of competitors, I have to feed them a list of job titles. They will go and find those people for me. That first search, if nothing else, it means I've got information to hand. Now still I will go and make the phone calls, and guys will go and make the phone calls, but it's that scale that you almost can't imagine. We've got thousands of people coming in through our website every single day. We've got access to candidates, but we still struggle with key, specific, niche skills, and that's where we'll still come and talk to you. I think getting the best people isn't as easy as it was, and it isn't. It is that traditional war on talent, etc., etc. Key skills in specific technical areas are always going to be hard to come by. We will pay top money for them, which means we'll also use an agency more often than not. But I think slowly but surely you're getting squeezed into more niche and more niche and more niche. The days of volume recruitment, we should be able to do that in-house, because why couldn't we? We own the brand, we own the internet. We can go and find people, and we're continually scouring the internet on LinkedIn, on Google, on forums, on chat rooms, on whatever it happens to be, all the time. I've got the capacity to do that almost 24 hours a day now, which is something that, again, a traditional recruitment consultancy just can't offer. And I guess the last challenge is around knowledge transfer, and it's coming to things like this. It's talking to people around how do you get that knowledge around from an organisation. Again, I'm spoiled. I've got it in-house. I can go and talk to the techies. But for me, the way that I think the business is going and the way that you guys engage is around building proper relationships. And I know that that's a really tricky thing. How do you break in without a cold call? How do you do whatever? And it's about proper networking. It's engaging with people that are interested and you've got something interesting to say. And I think that's probably the first and foremost, is find that gap almost. Symantec, like any other organisation of its size, has got that core bit in the middle, which we're good at. That's what we do. We recruit in the middle. It means at the entry level, we've got challenges. At the senior level, we also have challenges. So to almost work that and try and think, well, how that does that. Have a conversation with people. And unfortunately, it's a conversation with people like me now. There's talent acquisition. It's not HR. It's not the technical directors. It's not the sales directors, depending on what field you're in. It's all about talking to talent acquisition. We're now the gatekeepers. And with that comes some baggage, because, as I said, typically we've come from a recruitment background. We tend to be a little bit more hands-off with people and a little bit more, whatever the word is, I don't know, arrogant is probably the right word, I think. Does that all make sense? Have I said anything too doomy and gloomy yet? Okay, that was a vote of maybe. And I guess the last thing on that topic is really around the supplier relationship. We treat you like suppliers. I often hear the word, we're your recruitment partner. We've not really got true partners. We've got, like everybody else, we've got a preferred supplier list, but even the clue's in the name, it's a preferred supplier. Some probably on that cusp of, yeah, true partnership, because they've taken the investment they needed to take to invest in us as an organisation, which basically in summary means they've had some people in there doing nothing for a long time and not earning a fee, but the reward is at some point they get pieces of work in nice bite-sized chunks that nobody else will get. And that's true partnership to me. But we're an awful long way off from that. If I look at, I see you won't thank me, if I look at someone like Oracle, they're the sort of the guiding light, I guess, in the industry. They deliver in excess of 95% of their roles in-house. They have a team of very aggressive, very hungry ex-recruitment consultants who are paid like recruitment consultants. That's the subtle difference about what they've done. But those sort of levels and those sort of volumes means that the 5% are those really difficult to hire roles, those technical areas where we've not got it, whatever it happens to be. That's pretty much it normally. Occasionally it will be a role where we just run out of bandwidth. I've sped up today because we're running on time. There we go. Just want to say thank you for the few minutes I've given you today.
Thank you.
And obviously get me at Dangerfield, and there we go.
Thank you, Martin.